Hi, I'm Exis, and this is Hearts of Iron 4, No Step Back, where we're playing as the Soviet Union. Alright, so let's see where we were this time then. And we've got the doctrines there. Let's just unpause. Okay, so King Carol II abdicates from Romania. And that means Ion Antonescu has taken control, and Romania is now fascist instead of democratic. That is amusing. And the German Reich declares war on Poland, to no one's surprise, and Poland joins the Allies, and thus the Second World War has been launched. And we completed the research into improved medium tank chassis. We will keep going with the heavy tanks. How are we doing for factories? We'll start off this episode then by checking a little bit here in the productions tab. We are doing okay. And one of these should be finished, so November, both of them. The older one, the Kirov M, has been launched. And let's see what we've got going. These will be out in August of 41. That's nice and right on time. So we can put some presence into the Baltic, of course. And we should be able to get a few of these out as well. Alright. So we're still missing a lot of factories. A lot of artillery is needed for reinforcements. We're soon there on the self-propelled ones, but we're gonna start building new divisions as well soon, so we need a lot of BT-7s for replacements. And we're probably still using a lot of the BT-5s in our divisions. We're still using some T-26s actually. And this is going to take some time to replace out these 300 or 400 tanks. As long as they're one of these, it'll be fine. We might even be upgrading the BT-7s to the A model. Let's just say it's a small boost in speed in between these ones. It's no big upgrade. Like putting a turbocharger on the engine. Okay, we're got a deficit of 3,000 anti-air, deficit of 6,000 artillery pieces. I've got support equipment. Yeah, I've got a deficit of 4,000 support equipment as well. And yet we've still got 89% of our equipment. What we want to do now is go over and start designing tanks, of course. And we had the let's pop down here. Wish you could sort these by chassis type. Let's get rid of that one. We had the T-32 down here on the basic medium tank chassis. We had selected auto upgrade here, which meant that when the improved medium tank chassis got researched, it automatically got transferred over to the medium tank chassis. So without actually spending anything, we're just gonna finalize this design. So the prototype T-32 or the slight production. We'll start building the T-34s. We're just gonna double check on the T-35s, our basic heavy tanks here, that the auto upgrade is checked there as well, so that when our new chassis gets, let's just press it that way to get rid of that glow. That way when the new chassis is researched, we'll get our KB1 chassis directly. Yeah, we've got these ones aren't obsolete yet because we don't want to accidentally convert our BT-5s, which are perfectly serviceable light tanks, albeit a little bit on the slow side. We don't want them converted into Su-5s. Alright, so let's check out the T-34. Alright, so what do we want from the T-34? Well, we've got the improved small cannon in here. This is not really the cannon we want on this one. We want to have we actually got the medium cannon as well. I thought you got the medium cannon from... No, I need to check this just quickly. Because I thought you got the medium... I get rid of that one. Yeah, you get the medium cannon from here. We must have gotten that one from the research agreement with the Germans then. So, yeah, because the KV, this one that you get from the research agreement is called the KV1, but we renamed it into the T-35. Then you get the medium cannon there, and then you actually get the technology for it. Well, then I was thinking we had to do a T-34-45 for the improved small cannon, which was on the T-32. But we have the medium cannon, so we can go directly to the T-34-70. Is it 72? No, of course it's not. It's a 76, and that's because this is a 76mm gun. And then we have a 2-man turret. Now, going with the 3-man turret would be better, but the Soviets, they use 2-man turrets, so we will stick to 2-man turrets. Obviously sloped armor. The T-34 had quite a bit of slope to its armor. It also means we kind of want to keep the production cost down. Now, yeah, we got welded armor on there already as well. They were diesel powered, so we'll stick to diesel power. And they had the Christie suspension, and between the Christie suspension and the sloped armor, it made for a very, very cramped, and the 2-man turret for that matter, made for a very cramped interior in the T-34. And we've got loads and loads of reliability on this one. Radios, no, don't think so. We want some extra ammunition into these. And want to increase the speed a bit. And probably want to increase the armor a little bit as well. Since we don't have radius, we want to get breakthrough from something. That means we need to pop the engine up just a little bit more. So 11.4 is going to be fine for now. 8 kilometers per hour. Is that the gun we want? That looks like the 85mm gun, so we will go over and pick this one instead. Looks a little bit more like the 76mm one. We still have loads of reliability. So let's we can pop in even more extra ammunition. It only costs reliability and experience, so. And let's pop. We want some. Maybe we want a machine gun on there too. They did usually have an extra, also hull mounted one there, and maybe we can use a. What are we doing for secondary turrets? Or I could probably go with this one instead. It gives more soft attack. Yeah, that's fine. So we've got a hull mounted machine gun there for the. They had a machine gunner sitting there actually, and the driver was on the left side. And it got a loader and I think it was a 4-man crew in these machines. And they didn't actually have a radio in the early T-34s. Don't even know if they had it in the later ones actually. But they didn't in the early ones at least. We got a decent amount of breakthrough. Would be nice to have more, but this is the way the cookie crumbles. Got a good amount of piercing since we got the medium cannon in here. And a good soft attack and a decent hard attack. And very good armor as well. This is going to be a good baseline tank. It's quite cheap. So let's save the T-34-76. And we could probably No, we can't do that just yet. I was thinking maybe we can make a flame tank, but we don't have the prerequisite technology for making flame tanks just yet. And let's put them into production as well. A tank that's not in production isn't very useful, of course. Let's put 5 factories there before we start filling out everything else here. I probably want to put these down a little bit. I usually use the infantry equipment as a buffer for damaged factories or lost factories. Because you usually have a lot of factories into it, and you can put any extras in there and you can take them off when you need them into something else. Obviously we need to really start churning these out. We can check the... let's get rid of the flash there. If we check in the logistics tabs, we can see that it's about 2 years until we got everyone equipped with anti-air. 2 years until we got everyone equipped with artillery. And the infantry equipment, we're gonna want a stockpile of infantry equipment anyway, but this is just the Tier 1 or 1936 infantry equipment that we're producing at the moment. About 2 years for support equipment. And these of course don't really matter, the other ones down here. Got plenty of trucks. We could probably take a factory off the trucks. Because I think we've got 3 on trucks, yeah. Let's remove 1. 2 should be plenty for now. Do we want to upgrade these fighters? No, we don't. We're gonna need to put a lot more factories into fighters very, very soon. See, we've got 5 factories going into aircraft altogether. And if we look at what the Germans have going for them, they've already got about 45 factories going into aircraft. So they've got 7 times more going into aircraft than we do. This obviously isn't very good for the balance once the war starts. Luckily they have more than one front. So their attrition on their aircraft starts already now. Now we got some nice amounts of army experience. And all of these are missing loads of their equipment. We'll try to fill them out. We could probably put reinforcements up. We actually start putting our equipment into the field units. We probably want to have reinforcements. I will keep them on par with the new deployments. Oh, we finished building. I think we want to add another line of these somewhere. Do we have any? I don't think we have any 60 zone. Yeah, got one over here. Let's build a civilian factory there then, in Okhotsk. And we've got... I could build some down here in Alma-Ata. No, here we've got 3. I could use... let's put them in Kazan, that's fine. The Germans shouldn't get that far. And we need to start building some more military factories. Let's start backfilling a little bit on the ones that we actually have a good amount of infrastructure in down here. There's nothing more there. We've made sure that we have the 10 states that we need for our... no, that's a 21. That's a 41. Maybe we can put them... Here we've got an 81 even. Let's pull that one right up with... let's see, Tomsk is the last one we built the 3 mills in so that we get from one of our focuses later on. That's Gorky is a good one as well. Should be protected here behind Moscow. And let's go Ivanko and Yaroslav as well while we're at it. And Kalinin and Volkov should be safe. And let's That's Kubashevsky is probably better than all of those. Gorky, yeah, we'll have it above Gorky too. And that's all of our 60 zones within the safe. We'll take Saratov and what's this one? Engelsmarkstadt, Kaliningrad, and I think that's it for now. Now we've got Moscow there too, and Leningrad we built dockyards in instead. So we want to have Moscow and Stalingrad below Tomsk, because these are high infrastructure provinces. The same thing with Mariel will come after that. And I would love to build up Kharkiv and Kiev, but we know we won't be able to. At least Kiev is going to be impossible to hold. Kharkiv maybe, but since or Kharkov is right here and it's before the river, so if you defend after the river you're not going to be able to hold it. You need to defend it by Poltava and Sumy and down this route if you're going to be able to defend it, which is possible, especially if you build some forts here in the plains. Alright, got another 3 there. We can unpause again. And we have these. We probably want to have the flame tanks added on here too. No, the flame tanks are fine with being in only the motorized divisions. Need to start researching the mechanized ones as well. Alright, so we got Baltic security, and we're gonna keep on going down here. Obviously gonna have the claims in the Baltic. And looks like Poland's just about to fall over as soon as Warsaw falls. Okay, so we're up to date in the industrial techs. Now, fuel refining would be okay to go for, to gain some more fuel from our oil. It's not going to be an issue early on. And we said we might be converting some of those tanks, so the equipment conversion would be okay. This one's a little bit bugged at the moment. We should fix that in the next major release, I think. Excavation 2 for the extra aluminium. Would love to get the 1939 artillery going, but we've got such a huge deficit of artillery, I don't think it's in our interest to switch production just yet. Anti-air, of course, would be really good to start making the 1940s anti-air, because they have so much more piercing. They work very well against a lot of tank divisions. The heavy tanks are coming in there soon. We should probably get the engineer companies though. And we need to work a bit on this. We will start off with the engineering companies. Only have one there. And yeah, we already got the template we want to be using, at least for the start here. We got our brigades with just some light artillery and a bunch of troops, or battalions of infantry. And there we go with our... Yeah, this is the medium tank template that we were building on. This one needs to change just a little bit. Of course, we're going to add some flame tanks here later on. We can design them once the engineers are done. We haven't actually started producing any medium tanks, but we're going to have a bunch of medium tanks, so we can probably add them in now. We can add the heavy tanks in too. We're going to put them into production soon enough. And let's keep one light tank in there for now, and then we'll put one heavy tank in. Max speed is 4.8 because the heavy tanks we have at the moment, the T-35s, are dead slow. So we can unselect those, and we can unselect the That's quite fun. Oh, because it doesn't know what to compare it to since we don't have any of them in there. It doesn't really matter if we have these in here at the moment. We don't want the... no. BT5. BT5s are okay in this division. We don't want the T26s in here at all. And if they have BT7s or BT7As, probably need to switch this in the other template too then. If it didn't update it automatically. And do we have the medium tanks? Yes, good. And we've got all of those. We're not going to be producing any of those. That's fine. And this is going to be a heavy tank one as well. We'll just have it as a light one for the moment being. That means we've got way too many of these. And this brings it down a little bit low on the defense and org side. But once we start filling in with... I would like to have more organization, but the doctrines will bring that up just a little bit more. And this is of course because we're using a very tank heavy division. This is quite similar to what the Soviets were actually using at the time. That is 6 tank battalions for 3 motorized battalions. And they had a little bit more artillery, I think. They had ordinary towed artillery too. And I think they might actually have had 4 motorized battalions. But they had some infantry actually with the tanks as well. But the Soviet tank divisions, they were very tank heavy. As opposed to the Germans who had 2 infantry battalions for every tank battalion, at least towards the end of the war. We will save the changes here for now. And we can put that one aside. This one is high priority, of course. We want these to come in. And upgrades are also high priority, so the BT7s should go out there. Let's just check here that we have only the fast ones are allowed in these ones even. We might actually want to... yeah, we'll keep them out from here for now as well. And then once we're gonna phase out them anyway. We might add a armored recon, but I think that's gonna bring our organization down too much later on. So I think this is fine as it is for now. What do we have going here? Well, we could add the military police in there as well, but we're not going to be occupying a lot of territory just yet, so we don't need to be overly concerned about that. We want a bit more of these. Now we can probably be producing them in force. We want a lot of them, obviously. We want to start filling out these divisions. They've got... oh, they already got converted. Oh yeah, because we didn't have them. It was only these ones that we actually converted to the light tank templates. And that's probably fine too, I think. They don't have a lot of... yeah, well, we're good that way. They still have some of the BT7 and BT7As. Because they were light tank divisions before. And if you have the upgrade on here, they will replace them with different ones. But the ones that are already in that are better than the ones you're trying to replace them with won't get replaced. Now we could spend our political power, but we do need some political power to deal with our neighbors. So we will hold on to that for now. And watch Poland. Alright, so here we go. Poland has capitulated. The Polish government has gone into exile and their main forces have capitulated to the German Reich, who is now in control of their home area. The struggle between the German Reich and Poland was only a small part of the conflict. The war between the Axis and what remains of the Allies continues elsewhere. Uncertain times. And we got the fall of Warsaw. Poland did not stand a chance. I'm gonna continue going there. It usually takes a few days before the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact kicks in. And we can move our troops forward just a little bit. And we can actually do some war propaganda if we wanted to. Since Germany has now produced enough world tension. And Germany honors the pact. In accordance with the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, German forces have evacuated eastern Poland and our own troops have moved in to occupy the territory. Excellent. And the USSR occupies eastern Poland. Soviet troops have occupied eastern Poland, officially for the purpose of protecting Belarusian and Ukrainian minorities from the chaos that followed the collapse of the Polish government. German forces have withdrawn from these areas in good order, resulting in Poland's effective partitioning between the two powers. The frontiers of communism are advancing. And now we end up with occupied territory. And we want to swap this one over to the MP division. You can see the costs here. So the manpower per suppression and the cost per suppression of course is a lot cheaper with cavalry than with our infantry division. We don't need that artillery in our military police divisions. If we were to fill out this template completely with cavalry and add the military police support company, this would be better off, or even better. But if we just added it now, the production cost would be too high, and we kind of want to save our support equipment for our frontline battalions. We have set garrisons to high priority, so they should be getting their equipment quite speedily. We do need, you can probably check that here. Now we need 2,000 infantry equipment to go into this. And I don't think we need to keep it at civilian oversight. I think we will go with liberated workers. We can get the tooltip up there. Give us a bit of resources and factories and reduce the amount of garrisons we need. And that also reduce the compliance game, but that doesn't really affect us too much. We're only temporary holders of this. We get more factories from going into harsh quotas. And I think it's the factories that we are after exploiting. And so there is get 20%. We don't really need the resources. And we don't need the compliance. In fact, the compliance is something we don't want here, because we're not, the Germans will inherit that compliance. So we will go for harsh quotas, make sure there's no resistance in the state. That's minus 40% for the resistance target. We can probably hover over here and we can check that at the moment the resistance target is 73. And that's because we don't have our garrisons there. The base value is 35 and we're at peace and we have a claim. That's minus 15. And the compliance one doesn't really matter, so we go with harsh quotas for Poland, just for the 25% factories. And that means we should be able to access, at the moment we're able to access 34 or 35% of the Polish factories. That's about 3 factories. It will be a little bit more, I think, when the garrison is fully staffed. Now we only got one of them there. Now we probably want to move some of our forces up here as well. Now we can wait until we've got the border solidified. Now we still got a bunch of them training. And I want to... it actually does fill equipment from the top down, so having these divisions in the top slot is actually preferable to having them down there. Alright, so Denmark has joined the Allies, and the German Reich has declared war on Denmark. German interest in Scandinavia. We shall see how the situation develops. And the German Reich declares war on Norway, and Norway joins the Allies. Usually takes them a little bit longer to conquer Norway, since they actually have to invade Norway. Germany or Denmark usually just falls over. Historically, they took like not even a day, I think, for Denmark to capitulate, while Norway was fighting at least for a few days. It would be really nice to start selecting these. Let's see what we had happen here. Alright, so we infiltrated the army in Italy, and we actually got the 10 army experience. Now this is the bonus outcome you can get. That's a nice little boost for us to just have a little bit more to play with. Let's see who more we want to. Yeah, we could pop into Hungary and try to do the same thing. I'm just trying to gain some extra army experience for the, so we can get a head start down the doctrine, since doctrines are really expensive, and we probably want to go into these first. And we could use this one to get the doctrine cost down a little bit, but Zhukov here is good enough. And I think we're gonna go with operational reserves for the extra HP, since we are going to be losing a lot of battles on the front. Having extra HP means that we will lose less equipment and manpower from losing the battle, since we have more HP. So by the time we run out of org, we have yeah, it works out, I think, favorable for us. And I'm not a big fan of either of these. This one is okay if you're really going for a max entrenchment build, that is with fortresses and engineer companies in all the infantry divisions and everything. It's probably a little bit. I'm a little bit tempted to take the engineers out of here, actually. About this size is when it starts being useful. It's a percent bonuses. But I think overall these we have a lot of forests and a lot of hills and a lot of marshes. So we do have a lot of use for them as well, in delaying the onslaught. I'm not sure which one I'm going for here yet. Quite like this one, just to get the infantry leader a little bit quicker. Otherwise, bold attack is and meticulous preparation is really good. Yeah, because it makes your generals better when they level up, and we got a lot of generals and they're quite low level. So getting extra traits on them wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm clicking him constantly even though we haven't done anything. Alright, what do we have going here? We've got the Molotov and the Bodry. Let's put them into the Baltic Fleet. And these are submarines up in the Northern Fleet. Severny Flot. We will put them in there, and they can be made good use of. And we finish the Katusha. We want to start building. We could probably start with the mechanized now as well, since we want to start production of these soon enough. December 39. What are we doing with our other research slots? Yeah, we got the fighters finishing up soon, and so when the fighters finish up, we can pop over to the mechanized. We will start with the computing machine now. And still nothing more there. And we are out of manpower. And we bypassed. Let's check those in. Okay, so maybe we need to hold up a bit on these. Let's put that to 1, we need another, or I would like another 6 divisions. So that's, yes. Let's keep the ones that actually have some training then. Or try to. I think the first one I removed had training. That gives us 12 in every division. Do we have... No, we've got a little bit of manpower still trickling in there. That's probably not enough for any of these. And we've managed to deploy our entire manpower pool. We're still on volunteer only, mind you. Okay, so we finished claims in the Baltic. You can press details on both of these. That gives us the decisions to send ultimatums to Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. And that bypasses claims on Poland. And this one of course gets bypassed because we already own these. And we've got... I think we got the claims from the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, of course. We don't need to do that. We can't do these because we already have the control of these. And we can't offer Poland protection because they don't exist. We got Bessarabia here, but it's a little bit too early to do the Bessarabia focuses. And that didn't really happen until June, July of 1940, so in half a year. However, what happened during the winter of 1939-1940 was that the Soviet Union invaded Finland. And we all know how well that went. They actually started the invasion in November, but seeing how long time it takes to get through these things, it's hard to get this one in time. I guess we could probably have cut out these ones and taken them afterwards, and this one would have been on a more... You can get this one earlier, but then you get into... Yeah, we're finished now, so about a month too late anyway. We will secure Leningrad now. And we're about on time. Now we've saved up these political power to do these. But before we click the buttons, I want to put some troops on the borders. I'm not sure this is strictly necessary. Let's see, we've got... Konev should probably have some sort of a green color, just like his army. I didn't actually make the... No, this is purple. Just so we have the field marshals being the same color as their armies underneath, to make for slightly less confusing moments in the future. I'll do the same thing down here. It has some kind of grayish... Oh, I need to do it that way. Something like that will be fine. And that one's fine as it is. These tanks are currently under the command of Henrik Lister in... Oh, these need a bit of training. Let's pop some training on there. We still got 70 days. We need to start deploying them as well. And we will deploy some of these forces to the borders here. And this way we can just put one army of each on either side there. We could probably pick... Yeah, we're gonna need to put some troops on the border here too. And these tiles do seem very defensible, but I always find them really hard to keep because of supply. You just don't get the supply up here because it's a... I don't know really why, because it's mountains, I guess, but you need to have so many troops up on these tiles that you starve them because you can't get the prerequisite supplies up there. Don't need to keep checking him. So we're gonna wait until they are in place don't need to plan any orders for them. And we want to start moving these divisions up. This is... yeah, he's got all of them. Good. That means we can keep them there. We want to keep them probably something like that. That means we've got 2 extra divisions to secure, like this tile here, which can be attacked from 4 different tiles. And these tiles are a little bit easier to defend, even though they're plains. This one at least is a forest. We want these spread out along the line here. We can have them go 5 deep. And these ones here. We will... capturing Petsamo here is the important part. Capturing anything up here is not really important. And we've got Sala here. Taking this state is usually good. It's there's usually some factories here that we can make use of. And it is part of the Karelia that we are justifying for. So we gain or Karjala. Actually, Karjala is only this state. I thought we got a claim for Sala as well, since they're both part of Karelia. But apparently not. Okay, we need to also expand this border up a little bit. That'll spread them thin, but that's fine. It just doesn't really matter. I don't know how far we need to go in. Just here. And this is our main vector, of course. And we've got the tanks already planning their bonus there. And then we just want them to train so that we don't have this green -15 modifier. We'd rather have them at trained. So that we're not entirely green. I think we've managed to do most of the other ones up to even regulars, which is a +15 modifier. And we're working on the last few ones there. And yeah, we don't need to bother about these yet. Seems in expert AI that the Japanese did not want to do the border clash over here. So something must have changed. They must have seen that it's not worth them to do this. Because that should have fired like 2 years ago. And you get some doctrine research bonuses for it, so it's a little bit of a shame. We will move one of these divisions down here, I think. And we will transport this light tank division, or the motorized division, over to the Finnish front. We want to swap that one out for Katusha soon as well. We are going to put them into production as well. I don't know how many. We probably don't need very many of these, since we're using self-propelled for the tank divisions. And then we'll be using rocket artillery for our motorized divisions. And got loads of trucks. And now we could start converting our BT-7As into... or BT-7s into 7As. Question is if this is worth it. Probably. But then we need to activate it on the... yeah, well, we'll do it this way. And we'll on these ones, just because we already have them. Yeah, we'll allow them here too. Won't make a big difference to them, but we should have our medium tanks or heavy tanks, tank chassis done soon too. Alright, so they will swap around a little bit. Might be that they see that we've got enough troops here to win that border conflict, that they don't want to do it. You can see that our relative strength is too big. Alright, so we finished infiltrating the German Air Force. We did get some extra air experience, which brings us up to 352, which is really nice. Especially since it's 3 days before this one finishes. Alright, so she can stick around, and let's just check what we got for intel on the... we didn't get that much more intel on the Soviet Air Force, unfortunately. We can see that they've got a lot of factories producing aircraft. A lot more than we do. But we are into the expansionist part of our economy now. Why did we get 3 more? Oh yeah, that's because this is I think this is a 40 infrastructure zone, yeah. We want to stick to just building the one there for now. And then Moscow and Stalingrad, of course. And Gorky, I think, is worth pushing up in Yaroslav. We got some extra slots from finishing dispersed industry just a moment ago, of course. So we are waiting for that. And I think we're going to go down operational integrity. But we want to swap this one out first, but we have just the amount of air experience we need to produce high quality fighters. And because we can't have high quality aircrew, high quality fighters is going to have to be kind of a substitute for that. So that we have at least something going for our air force. Because it's going to be outnumbered and we've got the worst crews. Alright, do we have our troops in position? We do have a troops in position, and this is why you don't want them on the border before, because you're going to end up with them undersupplied everywhere here. Alright. Don't have any of these ones running at the moment. And here we got some specializations we want to do as well. First off, we want to send these ultimatums to our dear neighbors, and then we can have a look at these. This one is factory output and military factory construction speed. So that's going to be the next thing we select. Consumer goods -5 is really good though. What do we have in consumer goods at the moment? We have 25 -7, 18. Oh, it says there 18, of course. And we do have quite a lot of factories, so 5% of our... Actually, the total number. We might... that was a hard one. Civilian industry was really good as well. And that is factory output by 5%. Which is increases this one. Which is also very good, of course. Since that affects every single mill we have. I think military industry is the one that's going to give us the more factory output. It's going to give us the most factory output or production output of military equipment of the two. This one, of course, makes it so that we build consumer goods, or we can build the factories with more factories, but this one speeds it all up and it gives all the factories we have a better boost. Yeah, we can leave you alone for now too. Oh yeah, that means we can probably cancel out one more of these. Let's take this one off. Yes, we already got one in the field. And we just need 6 more to fill these ones out. It gives us just a little bit more manpower around there to spend for other things. Alright. Alright, let's unpause there again. We've done most of our setups here. And that was a long break, wasn't it? Okay, so we finished the lag 3s. Now the Soviets were producing, I think, 4 or 5 different mainline fighters at this time in history. They were producing the Yak-1 and the MiG-3 and the Lag-3 and the, I think, Lushin-3 now. Yeah, it was a 4th one as well. I can't remember it on top of my head at the moment. So we will spend all of our hard-acquired air experience for this. This is so we have a maxed out 1940s fighter in well, it's actually just the start of 1940. So we're having them enter production. And I'm going to call this the Yak 3. This was, it could be Yak 3 actually entered production a little bit later. We'll take the Yak 1 for now. Okay, yeah, that's my shortcut for recording. Yeah, so we'll run with the Yak 1. And if we might increase the range or reliability of these as we go on. Reliability would be nice to do before we start using them for air superiority. And in that case we could upgrade them to the Yak 3s or Yak 7s or along those lines. Yak 1 was actually made its maiden flight during January 1940, so I think this one fits perfectly for where we are at the moment. And was, from what I understand, the most liked fighter of the Soviet airmen. And now this is a really, really good fighter that we managed to churn out. And that's with all of our air experience from China and from Spain. So we will straight up replace that. And we really would need to put some more into guns there. So we'll put these up temporarily, and then we need to, I can probably go to 5 times 25. Yeah, we need 50 factories going on these. We'll put them below these, because when we start getting resource deficits, we don't want these production lines to go up. We're gonna need some more on tactical bombers. We can put those, let's put those down there too. Yeah, we want to have at least 5 going on tactical bombers before we go into the fighters. We got our tanks starting to produce here. That's a lot of tanks we need. We need more mills into tanks. I'm sure of it. Oh yeah, we need to do it this way and that way and that way and this way. I wish they would fix that bug. It annoys me quite a lot. Okay, so we are producing loads of military factories. That is very good, but we need to check over here. Our artillery is going to be done in a year's time. That's fine. Anti-air, we could use another factory on anti-air, I think. The same thing for support equipment. Medium tanks, we're not up to full production efficiency there either. But we are going to double the amount of factories. Heavy tanks, we're not even producing them yet. 116 days for self-propelled artillery, that is fine. And we don't have our, yeah, we got our rocket artillery here, we're not producing, yeah, we just started up production of them. But they must have gotten some factories, right? Yeah, we've started to get some production efficiency up there. We're up to about half our production cap on the medium tanks. So adding those factories will bring it down to 1,000 days. Once it's up to its cap, it'll be down to about 500 days, which means we're going to need even more on medium tanks. But we'll let them, we don't actually need all the medium tanks by the time the war starts, since tanks aren't very defensive in their nature. We can probably get away with having just 2 more on there. And then we add some more on the heavy tanks. We want to add at least 1 more factory on either of those. We will pop that down below. Artillery we have enough on for now. We have loads of armored trains. No, we have loads of trains. They don't have to be armored, of course. We have, yeah, we do have. And these are the armored trains. We've got 15 stockpiled and all the ones we haven't used, because CAS is gonna probably take out a lot of these civilian trains quite quickly. Okay, so we have this research slot. We said it was gonna go into mechanized. We're gonna have to be building a lot of these mechanized as well, because we want the we want our tank divisions to have mechanized in them. See, they're lacking a lot of equipment at the moment. That's all their medium tanks. I could probably convert a few of them back into the light tank variants. What do we have for light tanks? Here we've got loads of light tanks. Not so many of the BT-7As though. A lot of the BT-5s. And we are converting away all those T-26s. And that could be, the production efficiency would be good for that line. Okay, so let's unpause there again. And we no longer get our military experience from Spain. And that's, and we're down to just our own. Okay, we've got 50 political power. That means we are going for the specialization in military industry. That takes 90 days. And then it's added on to... Where is it? Got so many of these. No, it's added on right down here, of course. Onto the design company. And that's quite nice. I like how they did this, that you have a company that you make better. I still only have one there in Moscow. And we want to... Okay, Latvia submits. The Latvian government in Riga has agreed to our demands, and we have replaced their corrupt rule with the People's Assembly. This body has unanimously voted to request membership in our great union as a Soviet Socialist Republic. We have graciously agreed to fulfill this request. The Soviet Union annexes Latvia. Lithuania submits. And the text is just the same here. And we will save you from capitalism. And Estonia submits. Welcome to the Union, comrades. And thus we have gotten a lot more factories down here. Some more naval dockyards. A lot more factories in Estonia as well. Yeah, that's quite the civilian industry we just captured from them. And I think we might want to do the same thing for our new friends here. We don't have any kind of compliance with them. Let's just pop them over to harsh quotas. Let's work those factories hard. It requires a little bit more garrisons. That's plus 60% garrisons required. We don't actually have the manpower for all of these. That would be probably would be the nicest one. We might actually need to go for this one a little bit just for the manpower. Now we do need to go up in conscription laws soon enough anyway. Let's put them on a local police force for now. Let's see how much manpower we do need then. We're still missing 18,000. What do we have on these here? Probably not 18,000. 6 there. 3. That's 12,000. Yeah, we've got 18,000 here. Okay, so we're cancelling these divisions. That'll be fine. I probably want to cancel these two actually. I was thinking that all of the other ones were light divisions, but they're not. We will start with the ones we have in field, and we will get the equipment out. We want to replace that for the Katyushas, but we can't do that yet because we're going to be using them very soon and we don't have enough of them just yet. Yeah, still just you. That instead of clicking this one all the time, we will get some troops from there. We can always reuse some of these from the northern front. No, we will probably draw these from the... Let's get these ones training a little bit. We will use these Transbaikal troops, I think, for filling out these divisions so we have the correct amount. And we will wait a little bit with See how we are doing for... Should be fine on supply now. Some of these need to just move a little bit closer to the supply hubs. These seem to be fine. Let's move them a bit anyway. These ones here are all within range of the newly acquired supply hubs, of course. Okay. So how are we doing for Leningrad? That's fine, we got our plans underway. We're halfway through the focus. So I just want to check here that we have no one green. We don't. So let's turn that off. And our friend here from Vladivostok has arrived, has gotten all the way to Penza. That's just a short trek up here, so they'll be there in time for the war. Maybe even be able to build up some preparation bonus. Alright, so that's going to be all for today. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and see you next time.